Oh dear, it seems like somebody's upset, CC.
And I see that people have been f***ing around, once again, at the expense of me.
Wonder who he's talking about. It couldn't possibly be me.
I don't think so.
What? You were the ones that keep watching them and sending them to me?
Please subscribe.
Uploading my videos, turning my words into...
Things you didn't mean? Well, I wouldn't dream of doing something so childish.
I was in the car, standing still in a parking lot, and I felt dick.
Yeah, we've got parking lots like that in the UK as well. Okay, well, I wouldn't dream of doing something so childish too frequently.
But the truth is that we are stationary.
Then I will say to you the same thing I say to every other flat earther. Prove it then.
We're flat, we're covered with a dome, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And we didn't make this, God did.
Ooh, that's a bit low, Chris, isn't it? Blaming the big G for your own shortcomings. It's nobody's fault you're a flat earther apart from your own.
That's right.
I know, that's why I said it.
God loves you.
Sounds a bit stalkerish to me, and I'd rather have a God who respects my lack of belief than one who demands it, and then makes threats if you don't believe in him.
He has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
You have potential.
Chris, I'm touched. Nobody's ever said that to me before. Do you really think so?
You want a final experiment? Here, I'll give you a final experiment, okay?
Yeah, go for it, CC. You give us a final experiment. But first of all, could you explain to us what's wrong with the one we already have? It leaves this week. Or is it next week? It leaves soon. No, they'll be there very soon.
You take 2 boats around Antarctica, all right? 2. The supposed island on the bottom of Earth.
Bottom.
Okay. You take 2 boats, you have them go around the island and meet at the other side.
You mean like the Oyster 72 Catharsis 2, which became the first yacht to sail around Antarctica below 62 degrees south, which was a significant achievement as it meant they sailed in the Southern Ocean, closer to the continent, and faced harsher conditions than anyone before them.
That's the final experiment.
In that case, I will send Will Duffy a WhatsApp message immediately, because if it's already been done, then it's all just a big waste of time and money, isn't it? You did know it had already been done, Chris, didn't you?
But the Navy won't do it.
Yeah, well, the Navy's probably really busy doing naval stuff. But those people I just mentioned did exactly what you just suggested.
Because they know what the results will be.
Ah, you mean just like we all know what the results of the final experiment down in Antarctica are gonna be, because they are the same results every year.
Okay, because apparently this island's only, 13,000 miles in width?
Well, it depends on what we're measuring. Now, at its widest point, Antarctica is roughly 3,450 miles. I have no idea where you get 13,000 miles from, but it's probably the same place you get your information about the shape of the Earth.
So that's fine. Should only take them a day, not even, and they could meet on the other side of the island, and there you go.
Yeah, I don't think that's right either, CC. Now, they started in Cape Town, the Republic of South Africa, and they planned to finish in Hobart, Australia, which gave them an expected distance of 17,000 nautical miles, roughly 31,500 kilometers. They expected it to take 100 days in total, and 80 of those days were spent circumnavigating Antarctica. So you may want to fact check yourself on that one, pal. And while you're at it, you might as well do the same thing for everything else you say, because it's all wrong.
They won't, because we are covered with an ice wall. We are surrounded in an ice wall like a pond.
We're all so glad you corrected yourself there, Chris, because being surrounded by an ice wall is a hell of a lot less stupid than being covered by one. Or is it?
These continents that are around are like islands. It's as simple as that.
Now then, it's pretty obvious to me that Chris knows I make videos about him and he's seen them, hence his little speech at the beginning of this video, even though he's definitely not talking about me directly. But just in case he was mentioning me and he's gonna get to see this video, hi Chris, thanks for all your help with the channel. And also, I've asked so many flat earthers this question in videos and none of them ever answer. Why do you say that there's an ice wall surrounding the... Well, not why, we all know why, but have none of you ever thought of the fact that ice floats in water? So it wouldn't even be useful for holding in the world's oceans if it ever turned out by some bizarre twist of... If it ever turned out the Earth was flat, it's not going to help you, is it? So let me know in the comments below, Chris. I'm waiting with bated breath.
It's simple. Simple to understand. There is no space. NASA has been bullshitting your taxpayers' money.
Now, this is definitely rhetorical. What sort of moron thinks that space doesn't exist? I've said this so many times. If by some miracle it turned out that the Earth was flat, even a flat Earth would still need space. Because without space, there wouldn't be anywhere for even a flat Earth to be. Not to mention the number of people who are actually in space working right now, but I suppose they're all just liars.
From the beginning. From 1958, they've been freaking taking all your money, $90 million a day, for nothing.
Ah yes, but you must mean apart from wireless headsets, memory foam, infrared ear thermometers, water filters, cordless vacuum cleaners, freeze-dried food, improved baby formula, camera phones, you know, like the one you're using now, and CAT scans, which you so clearly need. And it's also worth pointing out that NASA's budget for 2024 is $24.9 billion, or 0.36% of the total US budget for this year. That didn't come across as sarcastic at all, did it? I can't tell anymore.
You're never going to the moon. You're never going back. Every time they say they're going, a problem always happens. Think about that.
People do think about it. All the time. Chris, you do understand that going to the moon isn't the same as jumping in your car, filling up with petrol in Wawa, and then driving along to the turnpike. It's a little bit more tricky to get to the moon.
Think!
Ooh, don't you just love angry CC?
How can people still believe that we live on this ridiculous Walt Disney World spinning wet ball?
Maybe it's the thousands of years of evidence and the predictions we're able to make based on what we know about the shape of the planet we live on.
I don't understand it. I just don't understand.
Yeah, well, thanks for bringing us up to speed, Captain Obvious. Yeah, we can see you don't understand.
This is like, these people are NPCs as far as I'm concerned.
Really? So you think Free Guy is a documentary then?
There's no easy way to say this. This world, it's a video game. You're not real.
If they can't see what's in their face and they're fighting against you, trying to hold on to something that they don't even understand.
Now, you know when you say that, Chris, that people like me just don't understand anything about the world they live in, you do realise that that wasn't your inner monologue, don't you? You actually said that out loud and it's in your video.
Ask them questions. Ask them the radius of Earth. Ask them how far away the closest star is. Ask them how big the universe is. How fast it's expanding. They can't give you dick.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do the same joke again.
But yet they're fighting against something they don't understand.
Well, Earth's radius is 3,963 miles. Our closest star is, of course, our Sun at 93 million miles. And the observable universe is estimated to be around 93 billion light years in diameter. And most current measurements put the Hubble constant at around 73 kilometers per second per megaparsec. Anything else I can help you with?
I mean, that's like fighting against, it's like fighting against a car dealer, not understanding the mechanics of the vehicle, and you're fighting against it.
But it's not though, is it? Because to be a vehicle mechanic takes years of training and experience to make you a really good mechanic. But as far as information about the universe, Earth, stars, the sun, whatever you want to choose, we can read about it right now. So if it takes me 10 minutes to read an article explaining why the sun is what it is, then it's taken me 10 minutes to learn that new piece of information. You should try it, Chris. It's awesome.
It doesn't make any sense at all to me. Why they just don't stop and ask critical questions.
Because the questions most flat earthers put to us, which they seem to think are critical, have usually been answered thousands of years ago. And the big one there would be the shape of the earth. We've known for thousands and thousands of years that it's a globe. Get over it, flat earthers, and grow up.
Asking questions like, why I feel no movement.
Well, round of applause to CC for proving to us once and for all that the old saying, you know, the one about there's no such thing as a stupid question, well, that's a load of old crap, isn't it? Clearly. Because they are the only questions flat earthers ask.
How could a star's light travel trillions of miles away and we can still see it?
You underestimate light's commitment, Chris. These photons are determined little buggers. They've been travelling for millennia just to reach our eyeballs here on Earth.
When meanwhile you can take a flashlight and go down 4 blocks and it disappears and you can't see it anymore.
Moving on.
How are these stars possible?
I'm not convinced that needed 4 hows, Chris. But are you actually asking how stars are possible? I suppose that's a little bit of progress coming from you.
The sun and the moon eclipse each other. That's right. And Earth eclipse. Yeah, and people don't understand that the sun and the moon are self-projecting lights.
Are you suggesting that the sun and the moon are some kind of giant celestial light bulbs?
Where is the moon all of a sudden? It goes in front of the sun, okay?
Right then, CC, let's see if this helps you at all. This is a poker chip. It's about poker chip size. And that over there is my son and editor, Callum, who's got a head on top of his shoulders, which we're going to use to represent the globe. So, see this poker chip that obscured his head completely? Or at least it would if I could line it back up. It's nowhere near as big as his head!
And that's a solar eclipse.
Well, no, it was just me holding this poker chip in front of my son's head to show you that even though the moon is a hell of a lot smaller than the sun, it can obscure it because of the distance between the two.
The sun eclipses itself. All of a sudden the moon just disappears too after the eclipse is done. Where is the moon gone? The moon does whatever the it wants to do.
I know, the moon be crazy.
At this point, comes up for 14 hours a day sometimes and then just disappears, comes up over there the next day, comes up anywhere it wants.
No, it doesn't. The moon does what we are able to predict it does because we know so much about it. Now, it may seem random to flat earthers, but tough, it isn't. The moon has a very predictable orbit.
These are self-projecting objects up there. You can't land on them.
I hope we're still talking about the moon, Chris, because if we're not, as much as it would stick in my throat, I would have to agree with you. Yeah, we can't land on the sun.
What happens if they went in winter when the sun is cold?
You could one day be an astronaut and you'll be able to walk on the sky.
Yeah, that famous astronaut activity, walking on the skies. Chris, I think you may need to go and have a lay down, pal. I'll take it from you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you again in a couple of days. If not sooner, maybe. Still can't decide. Thanks for watching, everybody. Love you. Bye.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen.
Everything here is immediately followed by sarcastic comments and nasty responses.
Yep, we're finally where we belong.